Thank you very much, Dr. Sabina. Your approach to AI in education is a clear and comprehensive breakdown of what AI can do from a capabilities perspective. Now, I'd like to bring it into focus by showing you what AI looks like in action in real teaching environments across disciplines and in both expected and surprising ways. We've heard a lot about AI's theoretical possibilities, but how are educators actually using it in their classrooms today? And just as importantly, what are students doing with it when given the space to experiment? Let's start with some concrete examples. At an higher education institution in US, in one of their introductory psychology courses, the university has integrated an AI-powered teaching assistant named Alex. Alex answers students' questions 24/7, providing clarification on course content, links to recommended readings, and reminders about upcoming assignments. But more than that, it learns from students' questions. If 40% of the class is struggling with cognitive development theories, Alex flags that for the professor, who can then respond in real time with a targeted review session or supplemental material. The result? A more responsive and adaptive learning experience for everyone involved. Another concrete example is from Scotland. In this case, literature and humanities faculty are experimenting with AI to support formative feedback. Students submit a draft essay and receive AI-generated comments on structure, clarity, tone, and cohesion before the human marker ever sees it. Students then revise their work, reflecting on the AI suggestions. The outcome isn't just a cleaner draft. It's improved self-awareness and a deeper understanding of academic writing as a process. And what's equally important, the final grade and in-depth feedback still come from the professor. The AI scaffolds learning, but the educator still sets the intellectual tone. At another institution in Europe, they have been piloting something a little different. In the political science department, they asked students to use an AI model to help generate research questions from a given dataset on global economic inequality. The AI suggested everything from what are the effects of colonial legacy on GDP distribution, to how do gender-based income disparities vary by region. Students then had to assess which questions were viable, critique the assumptions behind each, and justify their final choice. What we saw was a marked improvement in the quality of student inquiry. The AI didn't give them the answers, it provoked better questions. This kind of co-thinking with AI shifts the role of the tool. It's no longer about producing polished output. It's about shaping curiosity and guiding intellectual engagement. And that's a major leap forward in how we approach creativity and critical thinking in higher education. Another inspiring case comes from the arts. In a digital design course, students were invited to explore generative image models to prototype early visual ideas. The prompt? Design a public installation that addresses a social justice issue. AI was used to quickly generate mood boards, architectural forms, and lighting variations. Students then analyzed the results through a critical lens. What aesthetics were emerging? What biases were embedded in the AI's cultural assumptions? How could they redesign these outputs to reflect authentic community voices? This wasn't a shortcut to creativity. It was an invitation to critique and reimagine the act of creation itself. The most valuable learning didn't come from what the AI produced. It came from how students reacted to it. Of course, there are challenges. Some students initially over-relied on AI tools, treating them as magic boxes that dispense knowledge. Others were unsure how to evaluate the reliability or bias in AI-generated information. That's why scaffolding is essential. We must teach students how to use AI critically, not just functionally. So the revised pedagogy is suggested to implement a few principles that have proven really effective. The first one is to make AI visible. Don't treat it as a hidden tool. If students are using it, talk about it. Ask them what prompts they tried, what worked, what didn't, and what they'd do differently next time. The second one is frame the AI as a collaborator, not a source. When students use AI to help draft ideas or summaries, they're required to document what came from them and what came from the tool. Then they write a short reflection on how they improved or rejected the AI suggestions. And the last one is to center the process over the product. Whether it's a group presentation, a prototype, or a research paper, we assess the journey just as much as the outcome. That includes peer review, draft iterations, and interaction logs with AI tools when applicable. We've also seen new energy in classroom discussions. In one ethics course, students used AI to simulate opposing philosophical positions, say a Kantian versus. a utilitarian perspective on bioengineering. They debated not just the content of these arguments, but how convincingly the AI captured the spirit of each school of thought. This led to richer, more nuanced conversations, and interestingly, greater student ownership of their learning. But let me be honest, none of this works without intentionality. You can't just add AI to a course and expect it to flourish. You need design, dialogue, and debriefing. As some academics argue, technology does not determine pedagogy. Pedagogy determines how technology is used. The question we must ask is not, can AI do this? But it must be, does using AI here deepen student learning, agency, and critical engagement? In the best examples I've seen, AI is not treated as a replacement or even a solution. It's treated as a provocation to rethink what learning means, what knowledge looks like, and how we help students build the confidence and skills to thrive in a world that will be increasingly shaped by these technologies. So if you're wondering whether AI has a place in your classroom, I'd say start small. Pick one lesson, co-design it with your students. Use AI to challenge assumptions or prototype new ideas. Then reflect together. Teaching with AI isn't just about new tools. It's about new relationships with technology, with knowledge, and with our students. Thank you very much for listening to me. Now we are going to listen to Dr. Camelia about rethinking the assessment in the age of AI.